Larry Senna back. We bring him up from the basement every week, dust him off. He's from R&D, from First Rule Film and Pelopidas. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, McGraw. Good morning, Kelly.
Yesterday, Apple makes a big announcement.
They did, yeah.
As a tech geek, and I say that with all love.
Yes.
Were you excited? Were you not excited? Is this getting routine?
Well, it's one of those things. Those that know me know that I actually am not a huge Apple fan. So I kind of bring a different perspective than the mainstream Apple love that you see a lot.
Yes, you're not one of these who are blinded by the Apple.
No, but at the same time, I don't hate them, so I admire what they do,
Okay.
and I'll call out when they do.
Well, this is weird.
things.
So you don't love Apple, but you don't hate Apple.
No, I'm kind of indifferent.
You're like a robot. You're like a tech robot. You're not human. All right.
Well, I think they do some good things, and they do some things not so well.
All right. So here's an unvarnished opinion.
Yeah.
Unbiased opinion about what happened yesterday.
Well, certainly biased one way, a little bit, but here we go. So they announced essentially 4 things. They announced the new iPhones. So they got the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus,
right,
kind of in keeping with their iPhones in the past. And really what you saw here was kind of a keeping up with the Joneses move. There actually is very little physical difference. If you see the iPhone 6 and the 6S Plus right next to one another, they're essentially the same. You can't the same. They look the same. They have the same design.
Right. Okay.
They do have a couple different colors. So if you wanted to get, they have like a pink champagne color and some other things like that. So they
never have the color I want. So I don't. This is just now more colors I don't want.
Yeah, they've added 4 or 5 additional colors.
Yeah.
I think the real big takeaways, the things that are actually going to affect you day to day, are they increase the megapixels of the camera. So the camera's a little bit better. It's up to 12 megapixels, which that's awesome. We all want our daily camera that we have with us to be a little bit better. And they've increased the video resolution so it can actually shoot 4K, which I know a lot of geeks really wanted. It's about time.
I needed 4K on my phone.
I think so.
Absolutely.
You're seeing a lot of pushes for 4K TVs. You need a use for them, and
that's
this
exactly
actually
right.
gives you one.
Right.
Apple's also really big into this thing they're calling Force Touch. They're bringing over from the Apple Watch, which is basically like if you see a link on your iPhone, if you press on it and then apply a little pressure but don't let up, it gives you a little preview of what that is in that window. It's a kind of okay, but to be honest with you, a lot of these things feel like they're copying from Android. This has had it from the last 6-8 months.
All right.
The big things to note: pre-order starts September 12th, and release actually is September 25th. So it's actually coming up pretty fast. And Apple's going to be releasing the new iOS update for all you people that have traditional iPhones right now already on September 16th.
What's the big story about them now financing the phone as opposed to the carriers financing the phone?
I know there's a big change there with all the carriers, and that's just going to depend, really, at the end of the day, at your carrier, depending on how your carrier does it.
I mean, that could be kind of a big deal. If you're not tied to your carrier and you're tied to your phone company, and I can change carriers anytime I want.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think also what it's going to do is kind of take away the... it's going to make it more transparent how much these phones actually cost.
Right.
Because a lot of times if you buy a phone on contract at AT&T or Sprint or wherever, it's $99 for the phone as what you think.
Right.
But realistically, you're paying every month for that phone.
You're financing.
So it's an $800 phone, realistically.
Right. You're financing that phone through your monthly charges.
Just to hit some other things, they also had some big announcements. I actually think the more interesting announcements from yesterday's Apple event were around the iPad. So they announced the new iPad Mini 4, which is just a smaller updated of their Mini. Very cool. But the real interesting announcement was something called the iPad Pro. So essentially it's a 12.9-inch iPad, so it's a much bigger iPad with a little more beef inside of it, a little faster, meant for professionals, and you can really feel that they're aiming for the medical world. Like they want... the doctors walking around with this. They added. They also have 2 accessories now that you can get with the iPad Pro. Apple Pencil. It's very similar to the pens you've seen on the Microsoft Surface, and they're really big about it. Has pressure sensitivity. They're acting like they invented it. It's really funny during the conference.
Right.
And then an Apple keyboard, which looks identical to the Microsoft Surface one that clicks in.
Right.
And again, they acted like they invented the magnets in it. It was really funny listening to the conference the other day. The Apple keyboard's actually $169, which is a little bit steep for a keyboard accessory, and the pencil's $99. But at the end of the day, I think the Pro move for them actually probably one of the more interesting ones they announced.
Well, all right.
yesterday.
What about the Apple TV?
They did have some updates to the Apple TV, a new version of it. The big difference is that they're really trying to push applications like that are on your phone and your iPad to the TV.
Right.
Beyond that, I found it a little lackluster. It had Siri in the remote, which
Right.
is kind of interesting, but I don't really want to talk to my TV much. I don't know about you guys, at least yet, until it gets really good.
But hold on a second. So now we'll be able to now add apps to our Apple TV?
Essentially, but they'll have to be Apple TV apps, as far as I understand. One's
Gotcha.
made for
So
it.
I couldn't download the KTRS app to my Apple TV.
We'll have to see what they do, but I think they'll probably give easy upgrade options for developers to take the KTRS app, for example, and push it to the TV.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, you'll see. I also was kind of dismayed by no 4K support actually in their Apple TV, which was kind of odd.
Oh, yeah.
Especially considering their other announcements. One quick note about the Apple Watch, or as I call it, the train wreck that is the Apple Watch. The
Showing
only
your
update
bias
that they
there.
really did. Oh, it's just, well, they don't sell. that's
Are they not selling?
I mean, they sold for the first week of the announcement. I mean, they sold more than any other watchmaker currently as far as the tech watches.
Right.
But their announcement this yesterday, I think, really points that it's really a piece of jewelry. It's not a good piece of tech, which is their main announcement. They had a couple little ones, but was that their partnership with Hermes and having they wonderful, beautiful bands. And they announced a lot of bands, which, again, if
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
piece of
Those are
jewelry,
it's
makes
gonna be
sense.
Terribly
Yeah.
expensive.
But it's not a great device.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone needs to run out and get yet, because you still have to carry your phone. It doesn't really help you. It just adds an additional
looking
thing.
like this, talking to somebody looks really annoying.
I like
and
the
very uncomfortable.
The thing you hear all the geeks say is, "Oh, well, it saves me so much time. I don't have to get and pull out my phone and check. I can act like I'm paying attention and instead look at my wrist." It's kind of ridiculous.
I don't. I pay with Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Schnooks and Deerbergs now they have the Apple Pay. So I take out my phone and I hold my phone up and I pay with my phone. I'm not saving any more time. I'd have to pull into my back pocket and pull out my debit card and swipe my card, but it's cool to do.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I've never gotten this whole watch
I think
deal.
wearables are the future. They're going to get there, but I just don't think they're there yet. And at the point to which it doesn't save me time or really help me out, I think it's just an extra accessory I don't need.
They do look pretty cool, though.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I think if
I'm
you
not
want a
even
cool watch,
person.
get a nice watch. Like
Get
a real watch
Get
that actually tells time.
Get a swatch.
Swatch.
Swatches are. I'm bringing swatches back. Larry Stenneback from First Rule. He is our R&D guy each and every week. Larry, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
827 here, Big 550 KTRS.